Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. So this kind of video I don't make too often, but I'm definitely going to start making it more often, especially now that we have a brand new era, the Doomed era, and brand new talents. But basically, this is the Metropolitan Talent Usage Data 4. So this goes over the previous season, Season 4, of what talents were used the most. So if you haven't yet checked out the video of the top monsters, I'll link it in the description below. Huge shout out to Monster Legends Competitive Wiki for putting this together. So let's get into it. Look, I got a shout out. Special thanks to Armor Gaming and Hellfire. So yeah, let's just read this. It's a short. This is the talent usage blog for the latest Metro season. Normally I give stats on which talents were used on either offense or defense, but I'm short on time. I hope you can all understand. So that's fine. We're just going to get actual number percentages. Or sorry, we're not going to get percentages. We're just going to get the actual absolute number. So, the heavies. These talents, Obscure and Street, saw 30 plus 4 users using them. Generally the best of the talents. Let's see what it is. Let us scroll down. So, number 1 is the Hidden Shiv. Phenomenal talent. SP gave this out complete for free. I'm really happy about that. I use this on all my monsters. Honestly, even if it's a non-attacker. Like, sometimes my Zul runs 3 speedruns. And I run the skill that gives a damage boost to my team. And I'll still use it. And funny enough, like, I kid you not, like, my Zul, sometimes I'll take on a Megaton monster, and I'll just do the skill that gives me a random positive effect. It happens to be a damage boost, then I'll do the double damage, and then I'll do the attack that, there's an enemy Megaton, so I attack it with essentially an AoE skill, and then Hidden Shiv kills him, and thanks to my buffs, like, I killed the enemy Megaton. So, love Hidden Shiv. Really love Hidden Shiv. Solid talent, easy to obtain, does 90k damage, applies bleed, 3 uses. Yeah, it is very basic. It is very, very powerful. 90k over 3 turns is 270k plus bleed, which also reduces damage output from the enemy side. Then we have Phase Shield, gives evasion and positive effect protection for 2 turns after being damaged below 50%. It has 3 uses. Can be used with life runes to make monsters insanely hard to take down. Can be used on anyone, tanks, attackers, or anyone you want to protect. I agree. I love using this obviously on the Megaton monsters, especially because you can then apply Megatons. Then you have evasion, positive effect protection, and Megaton, so now the enemy can't go to your other monsters. But I've used this on attackers, especially on defense. It's a very strong mechanic. If the enemy doesn't kill you, if the enemy throws out an AoE and they take you below 50 and they don't kill you, Phase Shield kicks in. Now you have to deal with an attacker that has evasion and positive effect protection. It is too scary. So whether it's an attacker, whether it's a Megaton monster, whether it's a support monster, I mean, it's a great talent. This is unfortunately a paywall talent. Unrelenting Assault. Oh, look at that. We have something from the Corrupted era. I mean, everyone knows what this is, right? You get extra turns. You get up to 3 extra turns. Ridiculous. I don't even know how SP was able to release something this powerful. It came out with the release of Sensei Pandakin. Funny enough, who doesn't really need to use it. Can make attackers nearly unstoppable, but countered by anticipation and shock. And I would even say, I don't know if I would even say it's countered by anticipation. I mean, yeah, it is, because every time you get an extra turn, the enemy gets an extra turn. But right, the world of Monster Legends, you have a Megaton monster. Nowadays, you can Slumster and evasion your Megaton monster. You can do Zul and evasion your Megaton monster. Even if the enemy has anticipation, unless they can cleanse, unless you're running Dispelling Fist, if they're a corrupted monster, maybe a Lord Nabotis with Impure. You got the evasion, you can keep attacking, keep activating UA, no problem. That's actually my team. I use Zul, I use Pango, I use Stock Killer with UA. I don't even care when I take on anticipation monsters because Pango has evasion thanks to Zul, and then my Stock Killer has double damage and damage boost, and I'm good to go. So yeah, I'm not really surprised. I will say though, with the addition of SP adding the beasts into PvP, now towards the end of the season, I think that's barely when they made the change, so it is possible that UA maybe drops a lot in usage because there have been certain battles where... So once again, my team is Zul, Pango, and Stock Killer. Well, when the enemy has the Beast talent, the Shock one, the Thunder one on defense, all my monsters get shocked. I have to cleanse away the shock from myself in order to get an extra turn. Then I can evasion Pango. But if I'm taking on an attacker Nabotis, he does the AoE and he kills Pango. So yeah, I've definitely ran into some trouble there. And then if I cleanse for myself, I can't actually cleanse from my Stock Killer, so if I give double damage, UA is not even going to kick in, like, so that has been a mess. So I wonder what's going to happen with that. We have Snitch Brand. Oh boy, this one's powerful. Applies vulnerable and guard down to anyone hit. 2 uses, works extremely well on cursors. Yeah, I mean, this is phenomenal. I also love that it applies vulnerable, and then it actually even deals fire damage too. So the fire damage gets a buff. Let's see, can be used to buff your attacker. Let's see, Ryclops works extremely well with this too. Double per guaranteed, AoE vulnerable guard down. Yeah, I mean, this is a great one. So sometimes when I don't do Hidden Shiv on Zol, I try out doing Snitch Brand. Works even better when there's no Megaton on the enemy side, because then I basically damage boost my attacker, and I get vulnerable to all of the enemy. So it works really great. Plus I use Unrelenting Assault, and I use my with Stock Killer the skill that deals damage. But again, this is 60k damage to everyone. Thanks to guard down, that becomes 90. Like it's great. Like these are phenomenal talents. No wonder they're used. Killstreak. So funny enough, I have not been using this, even though I have it. 100k damage 3 times over gives an extra turn if you kill a monster. So Killstreak is the best replacement we have for Unrelenting Assault. It only activates when you kill a monster. Yeah, I haven't really had a chance to use it. I think most of the time I will. Well, I'm using Stock Killer. That's probably why. I've tried it in wars. It doesn't always work out. The enemy is tanky with mutant runes and everything. I can't OTK. I would have to buff enough. I don't know. I could probably make it work. If I had a Beambot, I think Beambot and Killstreak would be phenomenal. Strong, massive, kill whoever I can, get an extra turn to attack someone else. But yeah, cool. Good to see 31 total usage. So these are the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 talents. So let us scroll down. We have Absolute Zero. So this is 29. It was almost up here in the heavy category. So applies Mega Freeze to anyone hit. Insanely powerful. The meta shifts it to counter this. Yeah, there's a lot of monsters now that are like immune to control or can cleanse. SP even released talents specifically to give freeze immunity to the team. Not to mention you have Pango that's annoying. Chi and Spec. Yeah, those are the best monsters to use this with. For sure. We have Souldrag, deals 500k. I still use this. It's a way to make the enemy lose a coin in war, and sometimes they're careless and they just attack a monster and Souldrag kills them. Nice talent to deal some kickback for monster that was killed. Can be used on tanks, attackers, supports. Yeah, literally. Sometimes I will put it on a rank 5 monster I have, and like sometimes for war, it's not even a good monster. I just have it at a high rank that I'm like, hey, I'd rather that monster just die and deal some damage to the enemy than put some other monster that's gonna get denied or something. So I like it. Pain Distiller removes tortures. This is actually really, really, really good, especially now that we have the beasts that are applying torches at the start of the battle. So realistically, if you are taking on like the Shock Beast, you could run a monster with Pain Distiller and then immediately cleanse right away, you know? Or maybe you run a single speed on your Megaton monster and then a team speed on your attacker. Like for my team, I could switch it up to where Pain Distiller gets rid of the shock on my Stock Killer so that she can attack. So it's cool because you can just manipulate it to benefit you. We have Nanite Cloud. I think this is the one from the UV Fusion era. When the turn starts, if allies' life is below 50, heals everyone. Wow, by 150? 150,000 and doubles max life. That's pretty good. Relative new talent. It's really good on support, especially when it's used on taunt dodge area. So yeah, used on Slumster a lot. This is a phenomenal one. I imagine it's not higher just because it was released towards the end. Yeah, it was released towards the end. That is awesome. Keep your tanks alive. Lots of healing. Poseidonia, just be like reverse healing and take you down. I love Mud Body. Being damage deals 100,000 points of earth damage and quicksand. I use this on my Megaton monsters. I like to give my Megaton monsters 2 life, even 3 life sometimes, just to make sure the 100 damage sticks and the quicksand sticks. So yeah, I love it. Spare Battery. When any monster, which means friend or foe, dies, heals everyone by up to 60,000 points. Used to counter Souldrag. Yep. I remember when people found out about Spare Battery being used to counter Souldrag, it was like hush hush, don't tell anyone. But yeah, it's pretty cool like that. Really cool. Let's see. Softies. Smites disables traits. Best to use this on like a chill long. You do Ignorance is Bliss. Everyone gets trait disabled. You can follow up with Deny. Extremely powerful talent. That's literally what I just said. Spec for 2 counters the mighty Pangolith. Removes negative effects of the holder if they have a torture on them. Really great anticipation as dots really chip away at them. Can be used on AZ or Smite Spec. This one I've never actually used. And when the turn starts, if any allies' stamina is below 50, give stamina to all allies and applies True Vision. Oh wow, I didn't know this was a stamina recovery. When the turn starts, if any allies' stamina, anyone, give stamina to everyone and applies True Vision up to 2 uses. Great monster without stamina regen, such as Dark Voltic and Slumster. Wow. What about Adrenalin Injector? I just realized it's not in here. That's one I've been maining a lot. That one gives you 3 times it recovers your stamina. Really good on Dark Voltic. Dark Overdose, after damaging with the skill, if target's life is above 50, deals 100,000 points of dark damage. And then after damaging with the skill, target's life is above 50%, gives stamina to the wearer. Freeze immunity as well, counters AZ. Although for the stamina regen part, it's disappointing. The talent kicks in before stamina draining relics. Oop, that's no good. Health Gene, after being hit, wearer's life is below 50, heals by up to 150. After being hit, if the wearer's life is below 50, applies increased healing. Really great, obviously caused by face shield. So if you did not buy the face shield, essentially, you're able to use that. Bodyguard, okay. Bodyguard is one I've been loving just for the damage output. So especially in wars where like I really know I don't have any defense, I'll run a corrupted monster that has Souldrag for that 500k damage, and then I'll run a monster with like maybe a single life, maybe no life, just for Bodyguard, just to do that 220k points of physical damage to a random enemy. Can you imagine you, like, someone killed your ally with Souldrag and now they only have like 100k damage or 100k HP, maybe 200k, and then you just clutch into killing them with Bodyguard? So I've been loving it just for that damage. When the turn starts, Megatons, yeah, I don't even care about the Megaton aspect. I just care about the 220k damage. Interesting talent, mainly used on MTs, Fruit Taster, Slumpster. Oddly, its damaging element is great too. Yeah, that's what I love about it. And the Vest, basic talents where his applies a life shield and 90k damage. Yeah, so my initial plan for wars was like, I'm going to run Kevlar Vest, especially if a monster can hold like a Hiram's Shield or a Morg's Armor. But then I'm like, no, Mud Body, if I can, way better. Alright, the best of the worst. Let's see, after being damaged by skills, deals up to 60,000 points of thunder damage and applies shock. When the turn starts, if any ally life has life below 50%, applies damage mirror. I use this at times also for war, but I think there's been better stuff now. There's Adrenalin Injector. When the turn starts, if warrior stamina is below 50, recovers all stamina. That's what I love about it. All stamina is back and your strength even increases by 8,000 points for 3 turns. Mainly use a monster with no stamina regen. Voltic and Poseidon in particular work well. Crystal Form, this is the Skill Mirror 1. Dispelling Fist, this removes positive effects. I still see this on Lord Nabotus on defense, which kind of trumps my defense of Zool Evasion Pango. Because then Anticipation kicks in, the enemy gets rid of my evasion. That's a bit annoying, but yeah, I don't see it as often as I used to. Alright, let's see. Med Pack, after being downed by skill, outclassed by Haldogen and Face Shield. Didn't even finish reading it. Heals by 150, up to 3 uses. Banishing Touch, this is the death countdown. I remember when this got released, we were like, 2-turn death countdown? I think we couldn't cleanse it at the time. But then SP realized, like, hey, that probably should be cleansed. But yeah, it was like 2-turn death countdown, you gotta win. Basically 1 turn, because on that 2nd turn, even if you kill, your turn ends, you lose your monster. Yeah, although very impractical in practice, if the enemy is below 50%, why not just finish them off? I agree. I think the counter argument I would give for Banishing Touch is that now, because of street talents like this, and Face Shield, and Kevlar Vest, and Health Gene, because of all these new talents that give you so much life, imagine like you're taking on a Megaton monster, or you're taking on like a Garnixel that can evasion, can't cleanse or anything, can't remove negative effects, but you are able to Banishing Touch it, it drops below 50, Face Shield kicks in, and then it can apply evasion. Hey, doesn't matter, Banishing Touch will take them down. So that'd be one point where Banishing Touch could actually really come in handy. Burning Hands, this one gives fire and burning. The Hidden Shiv, the Corrupted Era, super basic, what else to say. Frequency Gauntlets, let's see, it's the worst Hidden Shiv. Yeah, this is 90k damage. You would honestly only use this if you didn't get a Hidden Shiv or don't have one yet. Barkai, this deals nature damage. I remember this would be fun against specs. Put it on defense because you have the elemental advantage. It becomes 90k. Chaotic Wish applies a random buff and 60k points heal. Blood Puppeteer, let's see, it is 100k points of physical damage to a random enemy, and they need to have bleeding. It doesn't say how many uses it has. I think it's only 2. Just run Hidden Shiv. And Flashbang, this daces the enemy. I actually like the fact that it dazes the enemy. Applies dace to all enemies, because then it reduces damage output. Only 1 use, though. I think if this had more uses, it'd be nice. And I don't know about your allies. When the turn starts, of any allies. Maybe if it was, like, just whenever it's your turn. I guess, like, if you have Megaton, there's a high chance you do have your Megaton below 50%. But, yeah, if this was... If it could deal more damage, like, activate twice, I think it'd be cool. Yeah, the dace is nice. Again, minus 25% accuracy. Maybe if it was blind, it'd be a lot more popular. But yeah, guys, these are the top talents in the game. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about all these? Did you expect them? Were you surprised by some? Any not thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Once again, huge shout out to Monster Legends Competitive Wiki for putting this together. I will go ahead and link the blog in the description if you want to follow along for yourself. And remember to subscribe.